that, as you said, they were spread out all over the place. So if you want to push, you push with at least 4 heroes. You can have either, like one hero farming, or you can have one hero just going to kill someone else. Like Devour did in a couple of other pushes. He just went, just before they pushed, he just went and killed in another lane and just killed somebody. And that of course gave them an advantage. The point is that if the Legion managed to pick someone off, the time frame that they have to actually execute a good push is very, very small, and the closer that they come to the Hellborn base, the smaller this time frame gets and the harder it is to coordinate it. So it's going to be very, very difficult for the Legion to actually push in, and we're just passing the 20-minute mark right now. And the longer this game goes, especially with Wildstone not focusing at all like on his carry role that he definitely can fulfill, and going for a very weird build, always staying in his ultimate, um, it's gonna be very interesting if that can work out late game. I mean, they have a pretty solid gold advantage. The experience advantage has kind of, it's not as big as it was at a point. So I would say the Legion are still ahead by quite a bit, but it's really, really, this game is not over at all. Like, this is really close.
Yeah, sorry. Staying in that ultimate, I mean, that gives Wildso a lot of hit points, like 650 max hit points,
Yeah.
4 extra armor, and right now, I
Well
mean,
pushed.
is the main source magic? Is the main source physical? I would tend to say it's more magic at this point. Checking out, if basically everyone can really be counted for their damage except Hammerstorm, which he's probably more classified as a physical since he has to rely a lot on his auto attack after that hammer. But it does not look like Wild Soul is going to be enjoying himself. Landed a 4.5-second arrow on him, but look at how quickly Valkyrie's going down to the concentrated fire from everyone. So I guess they're not going to go up for that top. They want to pressure this mid now, which arguably may or may not be good for them. I mean, mid towers, of course, that very important visual tower. It's an icon to a lot of people. It's a lot of, your beacon of safety, and it's your last defense, of course, before your base. Now, that being all said, I mean, they did get down to about half health with that, but, I mean, it's 5 on 5, and there, of course, the tower, the level, it does look like Devour does not seem to care. He's going to go in. I don't think Slither hit anyone with that ult, but Thunderbringer's going down. Tempest's ult is going to afford them another kill on that Bubbles, and, wow, that was actually really impressive for WAHL. They really did what they needed to do there. We got that not Valkyrie. We got that Defiler ult coming out and trying to chase away the hero. She is very squishy despite having her Shaman's headdress, and down goes that mid tower, that icon, that very important piece of landmark. It is now gone, and Devour, I think he's actually going to try chasing these guys, but there's a lot of movement speed buffs for this team right now. Hammerstorm and Valkyrie, they're going to get away. Now, of course, the only extraneous tower left is that top one up here, and it does look like Valkyrie's going to try working on that. Everyone else will probably catch up after they defend the bottom. But yeah, I think Druidz really got caught out of position there.
Yeah, but Tempest has a blink dagger now, and that is just, when Tempest has a blink dagger, every team fight can swing around. Her ultimate is so strong that in the days of the early beta, even to the mid beta, she was insta banned, just simply due to the fact that there were not that many heroes that could stop her from ulting and going through the channel. But her ultimate is so super strong, and that it just allows the Legion team to go even into late game if they can establish a solid lead. But it really comes down to what does Wildso decides to go. I mean, an Astrolabe. Okay, support's pushing any, definitely. As we see Chipper going down.
Chipper? What?
Chipper.
Slither?
I'm just really excited. Slither, yes. They're
Pretty sure we don't have
no,
a...
they're not. They're not the same thing. I know.
Yeah, pretty sure we don't have an overexcited chipmunk in this game. I don't know how Hag got down into that little
Perfect
island there,
myself.
but that's a really long blink. So yeah, coming down to this bottom tower, I mean, we have the Legion now defending it. Looks like they're going to push their way up top from here. Not too sure why, because there's no towers left, and I really don't think they want to start cracking on that base tower yet. Not yet. I mean, they do have the experience in gold lead. It has now swung into their favor, largely thanks to that portal key Tempest. That's a pickup I didn't see. So for those unaware, Blink Dagger, portal key, they're pretty synonymous at this point. Wretched Hag, what are you doing, you silly goose? You're gonna get hurt. That's what you're doing. I don't think she'll win that fight, but up top, it does look like Devour is going to find this Thunderbringer alone in the forest. The hook is going to miss! Because Thunderbringer is invisible. Devour now feels like a fool, looks like a fool, but feels like a fool, which is more important. And down goes that bottom tower. I think the Thunderbringer is going to have an easy time getting out of this one, but Hammerstorm might not have such an easy time. Now, the level 2 ult on Bear form is 800 max health. This guy has 2200 hit points. He can take quite a beating, and at that point, I mean, using that Astrolabe to great effect, just restoring a lot of that hit points could be very useful. It does look like Bubbles got caught down here, and now is the time to push, ladies and gentlemen. Up top, all four of the 5 heroes are up here. Tempest is going to get himself up there, no problem. Start pushing this creep wave, but you got to be reminiscent downstairs. We got Valkyrie, now she's doing her own push, and that gold lead is just a little smaller than it used to be.
Yes, yes. And the I'm just so I'm so curious who's gonna win because this is such an interesting game. However, I would give it to the Legion because they had such a large lead. However, Valkyrie picking up her her firebrand already, so that's gonna give her that's brings her onto the way to the Geometer's Bane and all the extra damage coming out. And so it's gonna be really interesting. If they can extend the game, because Ratchet Hag also going for a mana tube and an acolyte stuff, so she's gonna probably work towards the sheepstakes. So very, very carry heavy builds, if you want to say that. Both heroes definitely have a carry, component, but you can go other items which are not, also beneficial, but they're gonna probably focus on late game. And I'm just gonna be curious if they can stretch it out long enough. Pretty interesting also that the father has picked up the barrier idol, which is definitely a good pickup considering all the amounts of magic damage coming out of that Hellborn team. So I would say even though the Hellborn kind of played really cheesy in the beginning, they're in a pretty solid spot right now. The Legion, I just get them mixed up. Oh
Yeah, I was
God.
gonna say the only cheese here came out of WAHL, and well, right now it's working to
Yeah.
great effect. That Valkyrie getting caught in an unnice place, so she's gonna run away. I've noticed that the silence has been coming out more and more in these team fights now, thanks to that Defiler. I would have expected her to get that up a little quicker than level 13. It is still only level 3, and oh, Devourer, what are you doing? The tables are now turned. You are going to the grave in your silly-looking clown suit, you weird-looking thing. But with him down, it's now 5-on-4. Denied tower in the mid by Defiler. Well done to her, and that's going to be really hurting because I mean, Druidz right now needs as much gold as they can get to start countering this. They don't even have the experience lead anymore. I guess this really nipped the I don't know, nipped the thing in the bud, nipped the problem in the bud. There's an expression here that I'm just failing at, but they stopped
Yeah.
the push very effectively there by killing that Devour and forcing the team to scatter to the different lanes. So Druidz, trying to bide their time, arguably what they want to be doing. The later this game gets, theoretically, the stronger team that they have.
Yeah, but it really comes down to Legion have a lot of team fight potential. Simply that Slither ultimate, if fired off early enough, can over the time of a team fight deal massive amounts of AoE damage. You of course have, as I said before, the Tempest ultimate. You have Devour, who's doing very good as well. And all that, and Avoid Soul now going for the Frostburn, finally realizing, hey, I'm not support, I'm actually the carry on my team, and got to probably working towards a Frostburn, and it's gonna be ultimately turning that into the normal Geometers Frostburn Frostwolf Skull combination. But yeah, I don't know. I think that the Legion really They really did well, even though the game gets again closer because it was pretty open at a point. But right now it's just closing up again. The experience lead is really small for the Hellborn now, and this gold gap is actually getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, they're definitely doing a good job catching up. And as I said, the longer this game goes on for the Hellborn, in theory, because they pick such huge pushing early game heroes, the Hellborn should be able to start bringing this game back around, which is why you kind of need to end this really relatively quickly. There goes the last tower, putting that gold lead back up into the 6,500 range. And right now, we only sitting on 3 defenders here in the Hellborn. We got, who do we got? We got Bubbles, Hammerstorm, Thunderbringer. Arguably, they should be able to hold off enough time to keep this tower alive. We should have, there goes the TP from Heg. It does look like Valkyrie's going to grab that last bottom tower. She's going to come out. Out comes the Glyph of Defense. Out comes the Toxin Wards, the Elementals. We got Wild Soul just chomping away in there. He's down. His Bilbo, Bubbles, Bo, whatever. His bear's dead. We got just everything coming out. That tower is now down. This base is officially cracked. Slither's ult hit, I think, one person there at that point, so kind of a panic button, and Wild Soul is just not doing so hot. He's going to go down. Bubbles should be able to, but no, it's going to be that Thunderbringer picking that up. Now they're going to be chasing Devour out of this lane. Bubbles' ult coming out. These melee barracks, it's really a race at this point to see if they can get down this melee barracks before Tempest's ult is done, but Devour is going to be so close. He does go down, as well as Tempest is looking very grim. Wow, we still had a Thunderbringer ult as well. This is just not turning out to be Wall's day. That is a genocide. Whew.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I do all that, and you're like, yeah.
I was like, I had my mouth open. I was like, go on, Wall, go on, because but they didn't push through, and that is the problem. What we all know, and I believe all our viewers who everybody who's played one game of HoN knows this goddamn ramp. It is so friggin' hard to get up there and take the set of racks. I mean, they lost the tower, fair enough, but the racks are still standing, and that is very important. Of course, they have a vulnerable spot, but they got a genocide out of that, and they got a huge experience lead now.
Yeah, I
Not
was just
huge.
looking at that. 8,500.
Yeah, and it's especially important if you have heroes like Wretched Hag, like Thunderbringer, like Bubbles, heroes that can put a lot of good use to the levels. And I actually thought that the Legion did pretty good in the beginning because they had so many survivability items. Just look everywhere. Slither even has a BKB, and Helmet of the Black Legion. You have the Barrier Idol. You have Shaman Hand Resist. You have a lot of survivability. You have a Gnome's Wisdom and Tempest, which is a rather unusual pickup. And I thought thus they could actually go up there pretty easily, but it just didn't happen. It's so damn hard to get up that ramp.
Yeah, it really is. But they got up it and they made a good pass at this barracks. But all that hard-won gold, well, they just had a little bit there with the death of Bubbles. But all that hard-won gold is now just like, look at the gold lead. It's about 3,000 now. Pre-fight 6 or even 7. It was really good. And this isn't going to help. Wild Soul getting ganked pretty hard here by 4, no less than 4 Hellborn heroes. So I mean that, look at that, 700 gold difference right there. Which is it's a lot, right? They worked so hard early game to get this huge gold difference. They even started winning out on the experience difference, and now it's almost like they just handed Druidz a lot of that on a silver platter with that genocide, and of course the Wild Soul kill again. So I don't know. Right now we're looking at a very strong Druidz position. They have the experience lead and they have the kills. They don't have the towers, however, so it's a lot of lane security that they just don't have. They always now got to be aware of that top lane. That top lane is crackable at any point by a good solid push, and you need to mobilize the defense up there ASAP. So it's always something to keep in their mind. It's a little bit of extra stress on the team. Morale, of course, that kind of idea. So we'll have to see how they respond. I think they're in a very strong position. One more good team fight could really spin the tables here on Wall.
Yeah, definitely. And as I said, they have the potential to do so to get a good team fight off. Um, However, what I see the problem with for Wall right now, as we see lots of action going on,
We do? Oh, okay, yeah. I think you're a little ahead of me, but Tempest coming out, Bubble's going to be
Yeah.
throwing that out, Tempest going down, and out comes that BKB, that